Good evening everyone. Today we will talk about the Bihar migrant workers, a schylla, a charybdis movement. It is very important for GS paper 2 governance section. Article by Rangarajan IAS. In the Odysseus, a major epic in Greek mythology, that King Odysseus had to navigate between the danger Schylla, a monster residing in the rock. Charybdis is a monster embodying in the whirlpool, deadly whirlpool. Okay. Coming to the next point, in the ongoing special interventive revision of the Bihar electoral rolls initiated by the Election Commission of India, many migrant laborers whose names were not there, it is deleted from the electoral roll, facing a similar predicament. The term ordinary resident. Ordinary resident means just he lives in that place. Electoral rolls are prepared by the Election Commission of India as in the provision of the Representation of the People Act 1950. Section 19 tells that Representation of Act requires that a person must be ordinary resident of India in a constituency. A person which belongs to that place is called constituency. Constituency for inclusion in its electoral roll. The requirement of being ordinarily resident for inclusion in the electoral roll is to ensure that the votes maintain real ties with the constituency, that preserves the representatives' accountability. It's also aimed at preventing the fraudulent registrations, means fake registrations. Section 20 tells that ordinarily residents specify that a person shall not leave his candidature ordinarily resident in a constituency only because he or she owns or possesses a dwelling house therein. However, a person temporarily absent from his or her place residence shall continue to be ordinarily resident therein. Section 20A represents that in 2010, to enable NRIs, non-resident of India, who have moved out of the India even for the long term, to register to vote in the constituency in which their address given to the passports it located. Election Commission classified that electors who were not found in their residence or did not submit the enumeration form or part of the process or permanently shifted their residence and excluded them from the draft electoral forms. It's called fraudulatory registration. Under Article 19(1)(c) of the Constitution guarantees every citizen has a fundamental right to reside and settle any part of the India. It follows that any citizen has a right to leave or shift their residence to new place anywhere in India if they decide. Next point, the issue arises in respect of migrant laborers. The periodic labor survey of 2021 established that around 11% of the India population migrated from their birthplace. They migrate various reasons. some are job purpose, some are for educational purpose, for employment. This translates to close to 15 crores votes being migrant laborers within or migrant laborers in short term outside to their states. Most laborers, short term or long term, they migrate due to lack of opportunities in their place. Many migrant construction and security workers also migrate alone without family. They live in temporary basis, residence at their place of work, or move from one place to other within a state or even intrastate. They return to their home state regular intervals when they want to exercise their right to vote. They want to use their right to vote where their families live their property exists. For example, Govt High Court in Election Commission of India versus Dr. Manmohan Singh and others in 1999 indicated the term ordinary residence. It means habitual resident. It means habitual resident of that place. It must be permanent in nature and not temporary or casual basis. It must be a place where the person has intervention to dwelling to leave that place permanently. A reasonable man must accept or his as a resident. A reasonable man must accept his or as resident of the place, while migrant laborers may not be residing permanently in their native. Constitutionally, the philosophy behind ordinary resident, in the opinion of the courts, broadly fulfilled with the respect to the residents for such migrant workers. Legality versus realpolitik. Election Commission of India maintains that under the RP Act, migrants also have shifted out of their native state. They can register on their new place of residence. Many migrants are anyway not keen to shift their votes. They might have another ID like Aadhaar card in their new places or new residence. So, if they don't have proper documents, they won't able to vote for certain person. Further, it can be challenged whether they fulfill the condition being ordinary resident as laid down the court with respect to the non-residents. Keeping these legal arguments aside, political issues on the grounds in the migration states they reside can't be overlooked. Representation of People Act in such state have already begun raises about possible inclusion of migrants in the electoral roll of their states. They object to it on the ground that would vitiate. It means spoiling the democratic process. Vitiate means spoiling the democratic process. Since these migrant laborers are not permanent settlers in India, they argue that migrants don't involve the political issues in their states and hence should not be allowed to vote in these elections. Which it may argue that migrants can be included in the rolls, often result migrant states de jure as per legal rights it could potentially result in their de facto. It's name based. Nominally. Disenfranchisement due to the social, political issues in the place of work. Supreme Court of India should take these factors into consideration while processing its orders in the cases linked to special intensive revision towards fair and inclusive process. While these arguments made for the inclusion of migrated laborers in their original place of residence, it can't be an alibi. It's a proof that someone who is thought to have committed crime but he portrays like he doesn't did crime on that, and he was not there at that time. It's called alibi for the lack of their participation in the elections. Steps such as ensuring strict enforcement of statutory holidays on the day of polling, as well as running of the more special buses and trains, can effectively increase the participation of migrants in electoral process. Within this period, interested migrants votes, Election Commission of India had developed pilot program multi-constituency remote electronic voting machines that could handle up to a constituency. It had planned demonstrative of the same recognized public political party in January 2023. However, this was short-lived following concerns raised by the public parties as well as administrative challenges. With this advent of the new technology, robust and secure methods acceptable to all possible means for remote voting should be feasible. It's a good indication. Until this happens, steps such as enabling more trains, other transportation services, as well as incentives for a few additional days at paid leaves for travel can be explored to ensure more electoral participation by migrant voters. Parliament, which represents the will of the people, should also consider suitable amendments to Political Party Act to preserve the choice of the laborers with respect to their place of voting. Thank you.